My parents didn't have a Jewish community to belong to growing up, so they always tried to instill this sense of worth in me about what it is to be a part of such a diverse and exciting community.
Growing up in Russia, I was only a little child, but it was actually made very clear to me that I was a Jew, even before I understood what being a Jew could have possibly meant. Being Jewish was synonymous with being a traitor or enemy of the state.
After the Holocaust, my dad's parents' side, they didn't want their children being Jewish. It was too dangerous to be Jewish at that time. They felt that, even though the Nazis might be defeated then, that more and more people will come back and that it will be a continuous cycle that we just can't get out of. I was born in Pandara Hospital. I went to Montessori daycare in Gold Coast, and then I moved to Sydney during halfway through 2011. We were brand new in this place. We wanted to try something new, and my parents, they were driving down Link Road. I think it was my mom. She said to my stepfather, and she said, is that Jewish writing? Out of 2 weeks of seeing that sign, I was enrolled in the school, and I was attending Masada. I barely wore my kippah. I'd never wear my talis. I didn't even have my bar mitzvah. It was only up until IST where I was in a community, in a family where you could do it every single day, putting your tefillin, putting your kippah, walk around. It just became a thing. But that slowly led into more learning, which slowly led into more Jewish activities, which slowly led into me, wanting to have a bar mitzvah.
It's a long story. Everything in my life is Jewish. I was born a Jew and I'll die a Jew.
I think it was Hillel who said in Pirkei Avot that never separate yourself from the community. So being part of a community was exceptionally important for me. I met Ben in my early years of arriving in Australia. In fact, within that first year, when I used to catch the train and then get off at Martin Place train station, and I saw the solitary figure of a man standing. I would then go on to work and do my day's work, go home, and the next morning the same story. I stopped and I looked at him and he looked at me, and I put my hand out and I introduced myself and I said, hello, I'm Hazel Stein. He said, Stein? I said, yes. He said, are you Jewish? And I said, yes, I am. What about you? So he rolled up his sleeve and he showed me the number on his arm and said, that's how Jewish I really am.
And I remember started building this Jewish connection after a while, going to these Jewish seminars, doing a bit more praying, slowly adding little things in my life that really made a big difference. But I never really actually knew, what it really meant to be a Jew. And so, after battling my parents, you're going to go to IST and you're going to enjoy it. And then I remember I was on the plane to Israel. We were all told to write a note down. What do we want to achieve by the end of Israel? We're there for 5 weeks, a long time. You can do so much in that time. And I think it was on the 5th thing I said, have my bar mitzvah.
My involvement with the Jewish Board of Deputies has changed me completely. Prior to my experiences there, the only exposure that I'd had to the Jewish community and its organizations was on a university student level, with youth movements, with Orgis. It's a whole other world to be exposed to the professional side of the Jewish community, the people that day in, day out interact with the media, interact with politicians, and spend time really advocating for causes that I'm passionate about, like combating anti-Semitism, and seeing all of that actually play out rather than just hearing about it really changed my perspective on the community.
I found out that he was really a lonely man. He lived a solitary life. He had no family. And one of his fears was that he was afraid of dying alone. And he even said as much the one day. He said, I'm so afraid that one day I may die alone and somebody will smell the fact that I've actually died.
And then the morning comes, and then I'm my heart is racing, and all the way through, like, we're going up to Masada through the bus and everything, and I'm just like, people like, complaining about, the trek up to Masada, and I'm like internally screaming about, I'm just about to have my bar mitzvah, something amazing is just about to happen, something life-changing is just about to happen, and I'm just freaking out, like absolutely freaking out. Rabbi Lewin comes out of nowhere with the Torah, and that's literally the beginning. It happened so quickly, I was actually kind of surprised. It took me like really by surprise. And we start doing this, and everyone starts losing it, knowing that it's my bar mitzvah. Everyone's so happy and so like excited. And I was so excited and happier, and just getting so much excitement and happiness. It was crazy. I need to call my mom. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I need to call my mom. She doesn't know I just had my bar mitzvah. The last person who had a bar mitzvah was my great-grandfather. And even before that, that's even, we don't know. Like, it's been a long time.
For other people my age that aren't particularly interested in politics or corporate life, there are so many other ways that they benefit. There are social benefits of just belonging to a community and having other people to relate to and connect to. That's so important.
As a result of my daughter's involvement in the Jewish community and with the help of JCA, she has become a better person.
When he first came, he told me that he didn't want to speak to anybody, he didn't want to engage with anyone who was a Holocaust survivor. But slowly over the years, with Monty being that incredible community and the Jewish environment where it is, it was just the right place for him. And so he flourished and he blossomed, and he looks like a real mensch.
Having friends, yes. That's the best part of living here.
Making and reassuring myself that I am Jewish and this is who I am. It's something that you just can't really explain. You can't explain like how it feels like properly. Only thing you can really explain is the community. I always try to make sure that I'm in the community, because if it isn't for the Jewish community, there isn't any Jews in Sydney at all.